Welcome back, and it's time for Okyerema Asante. So, we've heard you talk about your experiences with Hugh Masekela until you came to Ghana, and then he decided to live here. Of all the African countries that he had visited, maybe he found Ghana to be more hospitable, and so he would pitch his camp here. But you had to go back, obviously, because you had family to deal with. Now, tell us what happened when you went back to LA.
Yeah, I actually went to Virginia.
Virginia now,
Yeah,
okay.
Because the group moved from LA to Virginia before we came to Ghana. So I went back to Virginia, and there I depended on my solo performances, and I got a lot of offers to play with other groups, and things like that. I played with Lonnie Listen Smith. I went to Newport Jazz Festival with Lonnie Listen Smith and
Newport
Jazz Festival.
Okay, yeah.
And on the Jazz Festival, we were working. It wasn't time for us to play. We were playing, and I came face to face with Masekela. Again. So that it was a good reunion, Wow. We were happy to see ourselves, and I was with Lonnie Listen Smith then. So we had a drink, we had a talk, and we exchanged phone numbers, So they were to play next. So he excused us, and he had a jazz quartet with Renee McLean and Hotep Galatas, Cecil Bernard, and some other guys. They were playing pure jazz, So they left, went on, and performed. After us, we also performed. So later on, I get a call from him. Say, "Hey man, Asante, I want you back in the group, man."
So now he had come back to the U.S.
Yeah, he has come back to the
Which year exactly was this? You remember?
This one is about 79.
Okay.
Yes, around about 79. So we hook up again and did a tour for some time, and then he went.
Tell me, when you say you're doing tours, with this particular tour with Hugh Masekela, what were some of the high points? What were some of the experiences?
It was like the big jazz festivals, big audiences.
Like which ones?
So like the Newport Jazz Festival.
Newport Jazz Festival.
Yes, and at Saratoga Springs, in New York, and then he was doing a lot of club gigs.
Yeah.
So it's like we played at Staples place at Chicago, Peff's house. Okay, Staples Singers had a club.
Staples Singers, yeah.
Yeah, they had a club that their brother Peff was managing.
Oh.
And so we played there, and the gig that we played, the club have two big halls.
But at the time, Staples Singers they were very big.
Yes.
Are they the ones that did "I'll Take You There"?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that was their club, a big club.
Wow.
In Chicago, managed by.
No. You were the boy about town, man.
Yeah, managed by her brother. Their brother, called Peps. So this club have two halls, and we were playing at one hall, and Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes were also playing at the other hall. But we were sharing one dressing room with curtains, dividing us. So we have finished for the first show, and we were relaxing, and we had a fight going on in the next dressing room. And that was the day Teddy Pendergrass left the group.
Oh wow.
And we had to go in there to save Harold Melvin from being choked by Teddy Pendergrass. He was so pissed off.
Wow.
So we went in there to
this is like a movie, man.
Oh, yes.
Man is talking about Teddy Pendergrass.
Yes.
He like I'm seeing you here live.
Yeah, that was the day he left the group.
Oh, okay.
You know, he was so angry. He wanted to kill. You know,
and then he went solo, obviously.
Yes,
and
yes.
he became Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that too, Masekela came to Africa. You know, he came to Africa. So I always fall back on my solo performances when I'm not on tour. So I was in Florida. Then I got a phone call, and the phone call came from Paul Simon's office.
Where?
It came from Paul Simon's office.
In which country? In the U.S.?
Yes, in the U.S. I was in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, Fort Lauderdale. You know.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Yes. So I was there, and the phone call came from Paul's office in New York. Mm-hmm. So I picked up the phone, and it was Mabusha Masekela, who was Hugh's nephew. He used to stay with us when he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's that Barbara Masekela's son. He was his sister. Mm-hmm. And then he says, Asante, yeah, Paul wants to see you. Paul.
This would now be in the 80s.
Yes. Mm-hmm. 80s, I'm talking about 86. Mm-hmm. So it comes that Paul is coming to DC on Monday, okay, to speak at Howard University.
Yeah.
So he wants you to meet him at Howard, you know, because he wants to go on tour with you. So you have to leave for Florida. Whatever you are doing, you have to leave and come back to DC so that you can meet him. So go there and pick up your ticket at the airport and go home. So I have to cancel what I have to do. But
this time you're doing more solo performances.
Yes, so I met Paul, and he met me for the first time.
The great Paul Simon.
Yeah, so
which at the time was Simon and Garfunkel.
Garfunkel, yes. Mm-hmm. So he said, okay, we were going to, Paul, myself, and the crew, were going to go to London the following week to meet the South Africans. They were coming from South Africa.
Yeah, Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo and the band. So we all met in London and rehearsed in London for 1 month.
How was the experience meeting Ladysmith Black Mambazo?
Yes, before the tour.
Well, they lived in South Africa.
Yes, Durban.
Durban.
Yeah, they live in Durban.
And they were permitted to travel.
Yes, and you see the name Ladysmith.
Yeah.
Ladysmith is the name of the town they come from.
Of course, yeah.
And it's a church group.
Oh, okay.
Joseph Shabalala, the leader, is a pastor.
Oh, I never knew this.
Yeah.
I never knew this.
That's why most of the songs are religious.
Yeah. And they're so soulful and emotional.
Yes.
I mean, I don't understand half of what they say, but you can connect.
Yes. Yeah, so they met. We all met in London.
And this is a digression, but how about their uniform? They wear Joromi like we will.
Yeah.
You taught them, or they came with their Joromi?
No, they came with their own.
Nice one.
But off the stage, I remember when I went to South Africa, they took all my my clothes from me.
This is the original one, man. Oh, nice.
Yeah, they bought all my clothes, for me. They said, you can get some. Come on,
wow. I mean, I got ahead of myself because once I heard Ladysmith Black Mambazo, I was too excited. So you met them in London?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we all met for the first time in London. Like we used to rehearse like from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Ooh.
We have a catering crew.
Where in London would this be?
Somewhere outside London.
Oh, okay, outside that. Yeah, okay. But you need a big space.
Yeah. We rehearsed.
How many were there again? Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
All of they were 10.
10 of them. Yeah.
10, and then the band also was 15. So we were 25 piece. Plus the crew, we had a road crew of about 20 people because everybody had their technicians. I have somebody taking care of my percussion. Everybody have somebody taking care of all of them together. Mm-hmm. So it was a big tour, a big group.
But tell me, what would make Paul Simon decide to pick you? Is it because he had seen you, or he heard from somebody about you?
I think I was recommended by Miriam Makeba.
How was Miriam Makeba connected to this whole thing?
Because we were playing when we come to Africa, especially in Liberia. Perform. Usually we meet Miriam there.
Okay.
And Miriam, she was also in exile.
Yeah.
So she spent most of the time between Monrovia and Guinea.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Miriam and Hugh Masekela, during the Graceland tour,
yeah,
people thought I was the only Ghanaian on the tour. That was wrong.
Well, until you talked about it, I would believe that.
There were three Ghanaians
on the tour, all playing.
Yes, me, the Ghanaian. Mariam was using the Ghanaian passport, and Hugh Masekela was using the Ghanaian passport.
Oh, interesting. So they all traveled with Ghanaian. That's why
Yes.
Hugh Masekela for the longest time used to say he's Ghanaian.
Yes, because at that time they took their citizenship from them, so they didn't have a country. So Hugh was a Ghanaian, and Mariam was a Ghanaian.
Whoa, okay. So then the rehearsals went on for days.
Like we rehearsed from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We take a lunch break, and the lunch break, there's the catering crew. Will be ready with lunch. We take a lunch and go back to rehearse. After lunch, then dinner. We will take a dinner about 8 o'clock. And after dinner, we rehearse again for about an hour or two, then call it a day. So we rehearsed for 1 month. The last 2 weeks was like production rehearsals. That means everybody is part of the rehearsal.
These rehearsals were very detailed.
Detailed. The last 2 weeks, in fact, they rented a hall. They rented a big, concert hall, and that the Latin people were there, and everybody. So the lights were set up like the concert, and we were in our costumes because it was a costume, a full dress rehearsal. So everything was there. So during when the tour begins, everybody knows what they are doing. Even when we are playing this music, the Latin people, they set up to suit the music.
Yeah. But I read somewhere that the South Africans were mesmerized by your performance. I mean, I don't remember where. Many years ago, in some newspaper somewhere. What the experience like when they saw you perform real performance?
Yeah. So when Masekela was going back after 27 years in exile,
yes,
I went with him.
That's what I read.
Yes.
That you had a tour, some kind of tour. Okay,
Yes.
we'll get to that one.
Yes.
But I'm still interested in Graceland.
Yes. Yes. So the Graceland, when the tour started, we started from Belgium, Brussels.
Yeah.
And like the people
that
there.
was the first stop.
Yeah, the first
At this
stop.
time, did you have the songs recorded, the album recorded already?
Yeah, the album was out.
Oh, the album was out?
Yes.
At which point did you do the album recording?
The album part was done in South Africa. Part of the album was done in South Africa. Then he brought Masekela.
But you didn't go to South Africa.
No,
your passport wouldn't allow you at the time.
No, yes. Paul Simon went to South Africa.
He could go.
Yeah, he went to South Africa to record with the guys there. Then he brought the master to New York, and then flew some of the guys to New York, and added some of the musicians in New York too.
To finish up the,
yeah, to finish up the recording. So after that, we did the tour.
Wow. That was huge.
Yes, it was really huge. In fact, that was my first world tour.
Properly so called.
Yeah, world tour.
Proper
Yeah,
world
yes,
tour.
yes.
Because you were part of, so how many of the songs did you feature in the Graceland album?
The album, the album itself, I didn't feature in the album, but the Graceland tour.
Okay, of course, the album, yes.
Yes, the video on the tour.
Yeah.
Yes, because plus we even enhanced the live tour. Yes, the live was very powerful.
Yeah.
The tour was really powerful.
Okay, so this will mean that you played on every track?
Yes, every track of them, every one of them.
So now let's take the tour one by one. Belgium was your first stop.
Yes.
And how was the experience?
Fantastic. They didn't believe we are Africans. Yeah, after the show, they come backstage and say, "Are you people sure you are Africans?"
They always think you are African Americans, Black Americans.
I say, "Yeah, we're all from Africa. I'm from Ghana, and this one's from South Africa, They say, "Oh no, man, you people are kidding."
Ooh.
And I say, "Why?" Because they don't think Africans can play music like that.
Well, the part of Africa they seen in the media is not as glorious.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so from Belgium, where next did you go to?
From Belgium, we went to Germany. We went to Germany, and then from Germany, the next stop was Harare.
Oh, came back to Harare?
Yeah, Zimbabwe. So that's where we recorded the
At the time, it was Salisbury.
It was, yes. That's where we went to Harare, and we performed at Rufaro Stadium for 2 days.
Ooh.
Two big shows. After the second show, right from the stage, boom, back to the airport on our way to Munich.
Back to Germany?
Yes.
Okay, so how was the experience, bringing the South Africans from Durban to...
That was very, very, very touching, because that time, Masekela and Miriam Makeba were not allowed in South Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
And so their families all came out of South Africa to
watch
them, in Zimbabwe, to meet them. In Zimbabwe, his father, I met his father, his sisters, all the family, and it was so touching.
Emotional, yeah.
Emotional, and if you could see the stage, if you are on a stage and you look at the audience, just across the street, in South Africa, the blacks and the whites, they cannot mix.
Yeah.
But that day, right at, Rufaro Stadium, they were mixed up.
Yeah.
Both blacks and white. And I stood on the stage when we were singing the South African national anthem. Tears just flowed from my eyes. Just looking at the audience, the way they were also singing.
Well, lots of South Africans.
Yes, both black and white. The way they were singing the anthem, I knew that the time has come. Yeah, I knew that the time has really come.
Good. So you did Zimbabwe, Harare, and then from there you went back to Germany.
Yeah, went back.
Still on the tour.
Yes, went back to Germany. We toured some German cities. Then from there on.
So which year? 87. 87, yeah.
From there on, we went to how you call it? We went to Leningrad.
Leningrad.
Yeah.
In Russia.
In Russia. We went to Leningrad.
And how was that experience?
That experience, I bet you, even today, if you pay me $1 million for 2 minutes, I won't go there anymore.
But that was it under Brezhnev? Under Brezhnev?
Brezhnev. No, yeah. Gorbachev.
No? Okay, Gorbachev?
Yes, Gorbachev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gorbachev, man, we were so hungry at that place, man. there was no food, man. But
so you went with Aeroflot?
Yeah. Meanwhile, we had our catering crew. We had everything on the bus. Even every day, we are rationing with water. We get two big Evian, bottles of water. Every day, we asked not to touch the water there.
Welcome to Russia.
Yeah, so we came with our own
At the
water,
time, it was
our own
Soviet
food,
Union.
That's right.
Trust me, man.
That's right.
You don't joke with those people.
That's right.
But what prompted you to go there?
I don't know. I really don't. But Paul, all of a sudden, they've added Russia to their tour.
Yeah.
Yes. So we stopped at Finland.
Mm-hmm.
We took a train from Helsinki. Paul didn't want to fly
Into Russia.
Yeah, he wanted to check the roadsides, the countryside, So we took a train, about 5 hours train ride.
But not too long, yeah.
Yeah, from Helsinki to Leningrad.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw a lot, on the roadside. But like U.S., when you're driving, in the country in U.S., you see big commercial farms and things like that. Mm-hmm. But here in Russia, I was so shocked. You see people using assault. Like
That's Russia for
you.
Wow. So that experience in Russia, of course, you had experiences from the U.S. and other Western countries. So this was a taste of proper communism.
We were so hungry that, when we left Russia, we came back to Berlin, West Berlin.
Yeah.
So from the airport, the cars we meet in Berlin, we were sitting in the car and one of the guys, "Oh, welcome to civilization."
Berlin will be East Germany, right?
West Germany.
Oh, West Germany.
Yeah, West Berlin, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we went. That time they had the West and East Berlin.
East, yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah, all so right. We went. And then when we arrived at the hotel, I was checking, we were checking in. Then when I turned around, all the musicians have disappeared from the hotel, but their luggages were there. They've left their luggages, they've disappeared. Then I said, what's going on? So I walked outside and I saw a McDonald's sign.
On the other side,
on the other side.
Brothers.
I went in there, all the musicians were lined up there.
Hey people, I'm speaking with Okyerema Asante and sharing his experiences on the road, some of the good, the bad, and the ugly experiences. Now he got excited, went to the Soviet Union, and Charlie Hunger just bashed them man like that. Okay, so we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be leaving Germany and we'll continue with the tour with Okyerema Asante. This is still Footprint. Welcome back. This is Footprint, and I'm here with Okyerema Asante. So he's been sharing his experiences, and a very interesting one. So we now we've had to go back to Benin.
Berlin.
Berlin. That's Benin. Yeah, Berlin, and still on the Paul Simon group and the tour. So what were some of the experiences there? Yeah,
from Berlin we went to Frankfurt.
Okay, Frankfurt, still in Germany.
Yes, still in Germany. Had a nice, show, a sold-out, concert in Frankfurt. Then from Frankfurt, we're supposed to fly 15 hours to LA, to Los Angeles for the Grammys.
Whew.
Because we won the album for the year 1987.
Grammys?
Yes, the best album,
Oh, I see.
Of the year. So the
Graceland album, yeah.
The Graceland was the best album. So we went to Grammys to perform on the stage and to receive the award.
Wow.
And so when we boarded the plane in Frankfurt, we were in the plane and police came on the plane to escort everybody out of the plane. That there's a bomb threat on the plane. Because there were a lot of threats.
At the time,
at the time, especially for Paul Simon, breaching the UN boycott, cultural boycott on South Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
To go to South Africa to do the project with South Africans. There were a lot of threats. And this was one of the threats. Imagine you are on a plane and they came with dogs to evacuate the planes. They took us, we stayed outside for about 2 hours for the police to go to, come through the Then they say we should come back on board. Imagine you have a 15 hours flight and they've just searched the plane, said that there's a bomb threat. So it was scary,
It would be very scary, yeah.
It was really scary. I remember Luther Vandross was also on a plane.
Luther Vandross?
Yes, was also going to the Grammys. A lot of musicians were going from Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah, Frankfurt to LA because it's a direct flight from Frankfurt to LA.
Mr. Asante, you, as we say now, you do all. To be on the same flight with Luther Vandross is
Yes. So a lot of the artists were on board, going to the Grammys.
Yeah.
So it was, and that was the time where they recorded "We Are the World."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was right from the Grammy ceremony to the studio.
Wow.
That's how they arranged it. I was at the studio. That's where they arranged it. And
so you were there when they?
Yes. That Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones, yeah. Put the script together and
put a big sign at the door that "Leave your ego at the door." Because everybody that was coming there
was huge.
Because there was only one person going to tell you what to do. So you have to leave your ego at the door for that to work.
So you went from Frankfurt to LA.
Yeah.
And how was the experience itself at the Grammys?
Fantastic.
You had to perform?
Yes, we did perform. I remember one thing. A day before the Grammys, we were doing rehearsals, and we all had a big dressing room, a huge hall for all of us. So we were rehearsing, and I was sitting, in a seat like that. Then all of a sudden, this guy, Anita Baker.
Anita Baker.
And Whitney Houston. They walk up to me, and Anita Baker says, "Sir, can you get up for me? You are sitting on my purse." I look at her and I said, "Well, I didn't understand what she was saying first." I said, "What?" Also, please.
She left her purse on the seat?
You are sitting on my purse. So I got up, and she moved the pillow and took her purse from under the pillow. I was actually sitting on her purse.
Wow.
And I didn't know, because when she was going on stage to perform, rehearse, she left her purse there.
Okay.
When she left the stage, she came back. You say, I should stand up for her to take her purse.
You have Whitney Houston, Anita Baker, and you are chatting with them like that, and it's not a movie. This is real life, man. Yeah. It's not easy, man.
And it was good, and we got to attend, and we also performed.
And how's the response?
Great.
Of course, album of the year, man.
Yes, great. We performed with Lady Smith, Black Mamba.
Oh, so they came along?
Yeah, everywhere we go. Yeah,
but that's curious. How they were allowed to fly out of South Africa then?
For them, Paul has some,
Of course, influential.
Yeah, he has some clout. So.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's interesting. So you did that one, and then after the Grammys, what happened with the group?
After Grammys, I think the tour ended.
Okay.
And we went back after 2 weeks, we went back to Europe.
Okay.
When we take off like 2 weeks, because the equipments go by
ahead
boat.
Of you.
The equipments go by boat. So when we are 2 weeks off, the equipments are on the way. So there too, we performed at Royal Albert Hall. We went to
in England.
Yeah, England. We sold out Royal Albert Hall for 1 week.
For 1 week,
So
back
loud.
to back.
Back to back.
Which year will this be?
87.
You've paid your dues, man.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was always, okay, Paul Simon was big, but you always have in the stories a small feature on Okyerema Asante.
Yeah.
And in your characteristic outfits,
Yeah. It's true.
which you had some thing that you used to wear with some.
Yeah, for the Graceland, I wasn't allowed to use my horn
Why?
because Paul they didn't want any one person to stand out.
Oh, okay.
So in fact, I almost left the tour because of that. Imagine after.
Because that was your character, yeah.
After 1 month of rehearsing, and the last few days, when the costume people came, said, okay, we're all going to look like we all come from Soweto. So they went to the pawn shops to pick up some costumes for us, like some hats, some things like that. They want us to look like some street people from Soweto. Then I said, wait a minute, you know why? I cannot dress like that. Because my talking drums, my setup, my front drum, I cannot wear.
It's not consistent.
Yes,
with that,
I cannot wear sheet, street cloth, for that, So I will prefer to. So I showed them my costume. That is kente, my costume, kente of now. So the costume people say, no, you have to look like that. Then I said, then forget it. I won't. I'm going back. I won't do the tour. So Masekela and Miriam called me and talked to me and said, Asante, this tour is going to open a lot of doors, man. So, cool. You know what? Don't use the horn. Because the horn makes you, stand out.
Yeah, okay.
Paul, you might, as you can see, Paul Simon himself was wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah, T-shirt and jeans.
Yes, and so he said, okay, Paul said, okay, you, Asante, wear your kente, but don't wear the
thing, yeah.
So he said, okay, you know what, you can use a kente, strap.
Which you did.
Yeah, which I did. So that's
things putting in context. Because I have always wondered why Paul Simon was in regular Betway T-shirt, Betway round neck, and jeans, black jeans.
Yeah, because he wanted everyone all to look like street, from Soweto, project the image of Soweto. Yes.
Wow. Anyway, so in Royal Albert Hall, you did it 1 week back to back.
Back to back.
And then after at this point, the tour had ended.
Yes, it was ended. So in fact, at the Royal Albert Hall, we had an after party at the Royal Albert Hall. So at the party, I met Mick Fleetwood.
Oh, Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, the leader of of Fleetwood Mac, the drummer Mick Fleetwood, who was in Ghana about 7 years earlier. Okay, to do a project called The Visitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that I hadn't seen him since he came to Ghana. So right at the after party in London, boom, he came on. He said, Asante, I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I knew that was you because nobody plays like you. That was you. I came to the show because of you. So I'm sure. Then he asked me when the tour went, and I said we are almost at the end of the tour. We'll see. Then he said, okay, when you go home, I'll give you a call because Fleetwood Mac is getting ready to go
on a tour.
So I want you to come with us. So I came home from, Graceland tour. 2 weeks later, Mick Fleetwood call.
Wow.
And we set up, agreement to do the tour, with them.
Okay. So, the group Fleetwood Mac was huge at the global, especially in America and Europe. Maybe not so much in this part of the world.
Yes.
But before we go there, I also noticed that you had a stint with Third World.
Yes.
At the time, they had this song, Lagos Jam had come. But before then, now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? And that was huge on the global level.
Yes.
It was Jamaican or British? The Jamaican group, right?
Yes, Jamaican group. Yes, Jamaican group.
But you did something with them as well.
Yeah. After Okyerema Asante, you know, when I was doing my solo work, I had a contract at Hotel Avoy in Abidjan.
In Abidjan, yeah, Hotel Ivoire, yeah, that's correct.
Yes, I have a one.
That was a huge hotel at the time.
Yes, I had a 1-month contract there. You know, I was playing. You enter the lobby, a big space there. They set up a big stage there, so I played there for 1 month. During my last performance, I was performing, and I noticed there were some Rastafarians, you know, in the audience. And they couldn't sit still. They got up and came and stood right in front of the stage, you know, and enjoying everything that, you know, I was doing. So right after my performance, they walk up to me and introduced themselves, say, you know, okay, Igbo, Willie, Casco, and Richard, you know, of Third World. You know, so they were in Ivory Coast to do a concert.
Yeah.
So,
but of course, you knew about Third World.
Yes, I knew about them. So I was also very excited to meet them. So originally, Alpha Blondy was supposed to open for them. And the promoter, the Ivorian promoter that they sent to come and do the work for them, I think contracted Alpha Blondy to open for them.
This Alpha Blondy is the Ivorian reggae musician.
And he was then up and coming. He wasn't as big as he was.
Okay.
You know, he was. In fact, he was even my, how I call it, my interpreter when I went to Ivorian TV for an
Alpha
interview.
Blondy.
Yes, because he could speak English and I don't speak no French, so.
Now tell me, so this, I just get curious with these big names. So this would be before he released his...
Yes, his first...
America.
Yeah, his first album, yeah.
Break the head of this up.
In fact, he was working as an assistant, you know, in the TV studio for George Benson. And George Benson was the biggest, you know, TV host in Ivory Coast.
Not George Benson,
the musician, but George Benson, the Ivorian TV host, you know, famous TV host.
Oh, okay.
So Alpha was working as an assistant.
Okay.
So when I went to George Benson show, he was the interpreter.
Wow, interesting.
You know. So the Third World told me they want me to open for them instead of Alpha.
Alpha Blondy.
You know, so they made Alpha the MC.
Okay.
For the show, and I opened for Third World. They did 2 shows in Abidjan. I opened for them. So when we came back to the States, they called me that they are coming to East Orange, New Jersey. To do a recording. So they want me to, you know, join them at the recording. So I went there and we recorded the Sense of Purpose album.
Sense of Purpose is, of course, after Lagos Jam.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And that was the experience with them.
Yes.
So then after that, you had to go back to Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
How was that experience?
Fantastic, because you know Fleetwood Mac, they have their own jet. You know, they travel on their own, you know, private jet. So that was a different experience, you know.
I'm sure you were there. From
Kofodia Batum to private jet, you know what I'm talking about. So, sometimes we'll be in a hotel. I'll be sitting in a hotel, a 5-star hotel, you know, in Australia, and I said, wow, from here to Kofodia Batum, very far. I can't know what.
But you lived your life well, man, because, you know, you started with many people, but a lot of them fell by the roadside, and you know. So this one went on for how long?
For
Fleetwood Mac?
Fleetwood Mac, we did it for about 1 year.
1 year. Wow.
And then we did an album, and then did another 1 year. So I did 2 world tours with Fleetwood Mac.
With them?
Yes.
Wow. So at this time, where was Hugh Masekela?
Huey was, check this out. I was rehearsing with Fleetwood Mac in Los Angeles. And Huey was in New York. And we were watching Nelson Mandela coming out of jail, you know, live. And
so this now is in the 90s?
Yes. So I picked up the phone and called Masekela, and he picked up the phone. I said, "Hey, can you see that? Can you see that?" You see, he's working hand in hand with Winnie Mandela, as we said in the music.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So this song, Bring Back Nelson Mandela, Bring Him Back Home to Soweto. You were part of that one?
Yeah, that one too, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
I want to see him walking hand in hand with Winnie Mandela.
Yeah, and I said, have you seen that? You know, we both were so happy. So wow. You know. Then he said, Asante, this is the time. Because he's always been telling me that, Asante, when it's time for me to go back home, whatever you are doing, you have to give me about 4 months of your time and come with me.
Wow.
So when I call him and say, Asante, yeah, Mandela is out. I think this is the time. The time is coming. The time. So not long after that, he called me and said, look, we are going to South Africa.
Hey.
They've been asked to come back home. Mandela has invited them to come back home. So we are going. So Asante, you got to come with me, man. And that time, you know, I was on tour with Mick Fleetwood. Apart from Fleetwood Mac, he had his solo.
His personal
project. So we were in Australia. I was in Australia with him. And we were in Melbourne. So Masekela took the lead to South Africa, and I followed up a week earlier. So after my tour in Australia, I flew from Melbourne to Sydney, then Sydney to LA, about 16 hours flight. Then from LA to DC, 5 hours flight. Then I went home, pick up, because I was taking different. I used different instruments for
different things.
Yeah, so I had to take my African drums and things like that for Huey. So I got them, brought them back to the airport. The next day, flew to London. 6 hours to London. Then from London to Johannesburg, 12 hours. 12 hours. When I arrived in Joburg, somebody was there waiting for me. They said, "Oh, Masekela is rehearsing at St. Petersburg, which is 4 hours drive from here." So I have to be in the car for 4 hours, and we went to St. Petersburg.
So tell me, I want to take a short break. When I come back, I'd like you to share your experiences when you first got to the airport in Johannesburg, because it was a new South Africa, and it was a mixed feeling of apartheid gone, and just to share. But we'll just take a short break. Now, you've been listening to Okyerema Asante, the master drummer, and he's shared all the experiences. I don't know what else is there to do as a musician. This is an accomplishment by all standards. This is still Footprint. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Footprint with Okyerema Asante, the master drummer from Koforidua. What's the name of your Betum. Koforidua Betum. Hey, Charlie, from Koforidua Betum to Leningrad to Berlin to everywhere, Charlie. He's been everywhere. Good. So when you got the plane touched down in Johannesburg, how was the feeling like? What were some of the experiences?
Yeah, I was very excited because that was my first time in South Africa.
Physically,
And,
yeah.
you know, physically. And the fact also that Mandela was out of jail
Yeah.
brought, you know, a different feeling.
Yeah.
Very, very good feeling, you know. Then when the people picked me up, they told me he is rehearsing at St. Petersburg, okay, which is 4 hours drive from there. I said, okay. So we went, when we got there, he was rehearsing at the studio in St. Petersburg. As soon as I entered the studio and Masekela saw me, he looked at me and said, wow, Asante, you look like a zombie, man. Go to the hotel and sleep. we don't need you now. Just go to the hotel.
You're tired,
and
man.
sleep. So I was so, imagine I was coming from Sydney, Australia. And I could have taken a short cut,
straight to
but I had to
South
go
Africa,
through Los Angeles, to Washington, to London, man. So I was so tired. I really had a good sleep, you know. So the next day, I joined them, you know, at the rehearsal, you know. And then they tour we tour all over the South Africa. We toured for 4 months.
4 months?
Yes, we toured from Joburg up to Cape Town.
Cape Town, yeah.
Every city,
and
all
tell
the
me,
cities.
how was Cape Town at the time?
Fine, nice. But one thing, you know, that really also impressed me was that Mandela organized a party for us to thank Masekela and his group.
Yeah,
for
a great job.
For our contribution, you know,
freedom fighting,
towards, you know, the ANC and all that stuff. Because working with Masekela, man, we will play so much, you know, fundraising for ANC.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot work with Masekela and don't be involved with, you know, with the struggle.
Yeah.
And Masekela and Miriam, that was their life. You know, so Mandela came to the party, was there. He was sitting down on the floor like that, you know, on a rock. We partied till about 4 a.m.
Whew.
Before he left, and then we all left. And 9 a.m., I got up from the hotel to use the bathroom. Then when I came back, I turned the TV on, and Mandela was negotiating with the clerk.
That's all.
Sitting there, I said, wow.
This one is strong, man.
How did this old man do that? I mean, how did he do that?
Yeah.
I'm wiped out, you know, in the hotel.
Yeah.
And look at him. He just left at about 4 a.m. and he's sitting down there.
Got it all figured out.
I said, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. So you did 4 months in South Africa.
Yes.
Moving from Durban to Pretoria to Cape Town to...
Yes, every place. And one thing, what you said something. One, there was one newspaper article, you know, in South Africa that was introducing Masekela's band. Yeah, he mentioned everybody's name, all right. This one here, Francis Foster from Sierra Leone, Remi Kabaka from Nigeria, all that. He mentioned all the guys' name. Then when he get to my turn, he said the Son of Africa. So I said, Africa, I said, what do you mean? I got a name too, man. Well, you mentioned everybody's name and where did they come from. So I queried the guy. I said, remember, why did you do that? I said, yeah, but you belong to Africa. So
yeah, everybody's mad.
Yeah, so I will say from Ghana, Okyerema, you know, you belong to all of us.
Oh, man. So tell me, with this closeness for decades that you had with Hugh Masekela and Miriam Makeba, I presume, how did you take the passing of Hugh Masekela?
Oh, wow. You know, sometimes I don't believe it. You know, so sometimes I refuse to believe it that they are gone. But anytime I hear their music, you know, it brings a lot of memories. You know, it brings a lot of personal memories, make me, remember things that we have personally been together, and it makes me feel really sad.
Wow.
Because he was like a big brother.
Because he would always talk about you anytime he met any Ghanaian.
Yeah, he was like a big brother to me, and Miriam too was like a huge, it was our mama,
Yeah.
One time we were having it was my birthday during the Graceland in London. And I didn't even know it was my birthday. I was in my room and I heard the door knock. And one of the girls came and said, Asante, Miriam wants you in her room. I said, oh, wow. So I went to Miriam's room. As soon as I opened the door, I knocked the door, and as soon as the door...
Surprise.
All the musicians were in the room there. And they were singing happy birthday to me. And Miriam had on cloth, like African woman, you put in her room, have a cloth in her waist, and was in the kitchen cooking. She loves to cook. She has cooked a whole lot of food for my birthday.
Wow.
Then
you lived with them like family.
Yeah. Then after that, she invited me to her bedroom. Then I went to the bedroom, and she gave me an envelope. He said, "Don't open it." And just give me an envelope. So I came back. When I went to my room, I opened the envelope. It was £500.
Wow.
And he said he has a note saying he didn't know what to buy for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I should use that to buy something for my birthday.
Okyerema Asante, so many years on the road. What do you do now?
I'm still
on the road.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm still on the road.
Still play actively.
So somebody asked me, so Okyerema, when are you going to retire? Then I said, retire?
From what?
Retirement is not in my vocabulary at all.
We thank God.
Because
you are still strong, you're still doing what you love.
I said, I thank God, as long as I can move, I can walk, I think maybe when I get to 100, I'll think about retiring, but not right now.
So where do you spend most of your time now? Still in Virginia?
In Virginia, yes.
Okay, but you come to Ghana more often?
Yes, always between Virginia and New York, and Virginia and Richmond, up and down, like that, yes.
No, you are blessed because you're still, active, looking strong. And so going back to Koforidua, what are some of the memories?
Oh, yeah, when I go to Koforidua, I feel, I go there to charge my batteries.
Thank you, Okyerema Asante. It's been wonderful talking to you. And for me, I think this is the highlight of this program. Having you on the program is just a blessing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. People, you've been watching and listening to Okyerema Asante, the master drummer. He's been everywhere, done that, been there. And I mean, anything you can talk about in African music. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. My name is Samuel Atamensa, and this has been Footprints.